Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up for the weekend, and this is your weekend edition, so we'll look at weekly charts. And this is February 16th, Friday, 2024. Remember, President's Day Monday. Now, I'm going to be holding a live webinar, and I've decided to do it on Thursday. Why? Let me think about that. NVIDIA. The earnings will be out by then. We will be able to talk about it, look at the chart, see how it impacts the whole market. So I figured it was a proper day to do it. I wanted my timing for it. If you haven't received my invite and signed up, you can call my staff. Over the weekend, even, just leave your name and number. I promise you we'll get back to you. You can move, the best way is move your cursor up to the top here at any time during this, and you will see an icon. Give it a click and sign up for everything there. We are filling. And once we fill, you're out. You just can't get in, and that's the end of it. You need to fill out the form, get your user ID and password. If you have specific questions, when we send you back your user ID and password, in the form, there's an area to write me some questions. If you have stock questions or ETF questions, that's the place to do it. Futures, you can ask during the webinar. People are always asking, will I make available a recording of it? The answer is no. And it is because I've done these for years. So when I make the recording, guess what? The audience collapses in half because people say, well, I'll watch the recording. The other guy can ask the question. Well, I might as well do special report presentations with that. I don't have to do that. So if I'm making the time to do this, you make the time. There's no charge. You're welcome to come in. Otherwise, sorry. That's how I want to do it. And since it's my webinar, my rule. All right. So as I said, this is going to be the week of NVIDIA. And there is the opportunity by some to say, okay, do we keep going straight up? What do you do? I can tell you that in my paid subscriber videos, I have the recommendation. People have been long, way under here, if they followed it. And I have been peeling off. This week I told them to take off another 10%. I've got people down to about a 40% of where they were. The first part I got out, or had the recommendation to get out, way too soon, not the last one. Last one was a beauty here, right up here. And so now they're in a position that on a good hard break, they can come in. I am fearful of giving up too much more of the position because I don't know how to come in if the market just keeps running. So in this way, hey, I've done my job. If it keeps going, terrific. Let it just keep running. If it breaks, you have buying power. And you're on the market's money at that point because of where I just told you to do. Do I know if you're in it? I don't have the slightest idea. I know what I said. That's about it. Today we had PPI earlier in the week, CPI. What's the one thing you see? Stubborn inflation for the last mile. It's come down hard. Let's not say stubborn and not understand where we came from. 2/3 of the inflation story is gone, if not more. But it's always that last mile, just like a marathon. You know, whoever's leading, it doesn't mean anything. It's that last long mile, and it's a son of a gun. I do think the Fed will win the battle. I do think they'll get it down. I don't know that it's going to 2%. I've always told you I doubt it. I think 3%. 2.5% is a realistic number for an economy as strong as ours. The government doesn't want to break their other mandate, which is full inflation or close to it. If they don't play it right and they just are data-driven, they're going to break it. So they got to be visionaries. They've got to be ahead of the curve and be a little bit early with understanding the lag effect of what they do. You know, if initially on the first cut, the market will go bonkers, but you know it's going to take time as they do a cut, maybe pause, a cut, whatever. Do I think this year we're getting 5 or 6 cuts? I don't see anything that I have seen in this economy that warrants that. Can the Fed not cut? Yeah. How's that? There's a better chance of no cut than I think 5 or 6 cuts. People don't say that. I'm saying it, all right? You've got to show the market weakening, and this has been a super resilient economy. I think you realize that. It's also one that's got inflation issues. It's got service inflation issues that have to be resolved, and I'm not quite certain how you resolve them due to the fact that we're soon going to be in the spring, summer months, and that's when the service industry comes alive. How many outdoor waiters do you need? The kids are going back to camps. All the tennis courts are opening. The golf courses are opening. Now, I realize down south and in California that you already have that and always do. But the vast majority of us in America don't. And as we get to that point and it opens up in the East Coast and the Midwest and the Upper West and so on, this still will give you some service inflation. And that has been a problem for us. That's one of the things that's holding inflation up. Service inflation is important. Shelter costs have been held up. But we saw today that even without the big weighting of shelter costs, PPI stayed up. So that probably means that you're going to have a hotter than you think PCE at the end of the month. Can I guarantee it? No, but I was reading how the banks came out today and they're be it Morgan Stanley, be it JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. I was reading the different numbers that were coming out, and they're looking for fairly strong PCE yet. So things are have to get pushed back one more time, which means after PCE, all of a sudden we'll talk about, what's the jobs report say? All right. NVIDIA's had just one phenomenal run. It based out right through here. I was fortunate enough to tell clients and gave them a reason to come in that zone. I have the date that I did it. It was December 4th, and got lucky, period. And I said, you've got to break the rule of what I normally do. And for subscribers, I went through the whole thing and why. And I'll leave it at that. That's all that I'm saying. And I said that in this case, you got to buy something because it's the leader of a whole new event that's taking place. It's like Apple when the first iPhones came out and we got rid of the old Motorola flip phones. Remember all that? Well, that's what NVIDIA is. This is the darling. Now they're saying Eli Lilly may be another vehicle like that in their pharmaceutical area. I mean, you're hearing this. So people are looking at it. But the reality is this is a market that was just $500 and it's $726. So it's gone up 50%. And it's done that lickety split from right at the end of 2023. When we look at how the swing line has gone, every single week has had a higher high week. You haven't had one correction in there. The market is over the 18-week average of closes, so where the heck is the Bollinger Band? And it's right here. How many weeks in a row are you over it now? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. If you go back and you do your homework, you rarely go beyond 7. So we're at that point where we pulled on the rubber band, and maybe it's time for the market to move to the right-hand side of that. When it moves to the right-hand side, it means you paused or you broke a little bit, typically. And if that happens, I know, that everybody not in it's going to have somebody says, either they're calling their broker or you're on your own, you're self-directed, maybe this is where I buy the break. So do I think people are ready to dump this in a big way? That's the point that I'm leading to. No. Do I expect breaks to be on the relatively shallow point? Well, it's relative because a stock that's gone up 50%, it's relative. By the way, that's 50 from here. What about from down here? A year ago, this was a $200 stock. It doubled in 1 year, and it's gone up another 50% since then. So you've got to take everything in its stride. It is an embedded reading. It tells me that on breaks, it'll be bought, and I'll leave it at that. We'll talk about it in the live webinar. I want you to join. Remember, just move your cursor up there. Microsoft, I've said over and over, it's one of my favorite stocks. Have I told my clientele, I don't mind telling you that, to buy it up here? I have not. Okay? I missed this part of the run. Okay, Can't catch everything. KRE, okay. So now we're hearing some Fed members coming out, and Mr. Barr, the supervisor at the Federal Reserve that is talking, they're watching the banks very closely here. Get nervous if you cross under 45.67, in my opinion. That would then be a real problem in this market. It could drive you further down. Do I think as many banks are as in serious a problem as I thought 6 months ago? I don't. I think they've adjusted. I think they've lowered the value of their loan portfolios. I think they've lowered the value of the buildings behind them. I think they've talked to the owners. Some of these buildings, there's no saving them. The building may stay up. It'll be new ownership at some price. Maybe the bank takes part loss, the owner's equity gets wiped out. There's going to be events that happen, okay? It's not going to go unscathed. If you think that, terrific. I've been through this cycle. This is a bad cycle. And how do you get people to go to offices when they're outdated compared to the new ones that have come on the market? Now, I don't see a lot of new office buildings being built. Do you? I'm not seeing a lot of new rental apartment buildings being built. The market's got plenty of them right now. So at these interest rates in this part of the cycle, it's very difficult unless you made arrangements a year ago when rates were lower to start building and making money doing things at these numbers. Just keep that in the back of your mind. MCHI. So China comes back, and the first thing that happens is for the first week, we're losing the embedded reading. So I can make an argument that unless it re-embeds this coming week, the odds favor the market's going to make a run up to the 18-week average. I have been looking for ways to get my clientele short. That might be the opportunity. We'll talk. In XLI, still looking bullish on this chart. This is in the industry sector. I fought this market for a long time saying here, I don't see what they're seeing in industry. And then I looked at the charts and I told my clients, it's embedded, got to be on the long side. XLE Energy. Energy's starting to look better and better. Unless you get back under last week's low, you now have higher lows, higher highs. You're opening the door for the 88.37 level. What could be driving it up? Well, usage is one thing, but I'm still worried about what's going on in the Middle East. You should be worried too. I mean, this situation is getting closer and closer to Israel and Lebanon going into a full-scale fiasco war. We are still seeing that the Red Sea is, for all purposes, closed down. Where does this end? Okay, Israel's getting ready to go into Rafah. I don't know. I'm watching hospitals being hit. Where's the end game is what we all want to know. And if the end game is that you're going to kill every Hamas, that isn't going to happen. Israel's got a losing game. It isn't going to happen. You'll kill them and they'll get reborn. People are going to hate Israel after this. You know that. I mean, think of the generation right now of Palestinians of the hate. Got to find a way to end this. I don't know what it is. By the way, the Bible doesn't know. How long is this going on if you think about it? UUP, all the way coming up here. A lot of resistance as I look right here in the dollar, but it is a nice bounce in the market. I'm sort of amazed that this isn't in a bullish trend. It's still a market that's rallying up towards resistance of 28.41 to 56. Very surprising to me. I would have thought this would have been in an uptrend. Wasn't. This huge break took this market and did a lot of damage. In the gold market, resistance. Well, gold's going to fight a high dollar, relatively speaking, and high interest rates, and you want to be bullish. It needs another element, okay? The inflation element's being fought by the government worldwide. Gold's out of favor because of that. But other world events can bring this around. War can bring this around. So you got to always pay attention to that. But there's nothing on this chart unless you get up and over 194.36 that negates the downtrend. Willing sellers, I say, up right here. In the silver market, different. Silver, platinum, copper are still metals that are being used in industry, and if industry can come alive via the fact that Europe's dying to see the banks cut rates, Germany's in a recession, Poland's in a recession, I think it's Romania. I wrote about it this week. There's a bunch of the Eastern Europeans that have had 2 losing quarters. Big problems. Ms. Lagarde knows it. Let the inflation numbers break. She might have to go a little bit earlier. Somebody's going to go first. I don't know if it's the UK. I don't know if it's the European Central Bank. It is not America. We'll be the latter part of that whole group. Lilly, this is the next, again, I want to say, I didn't write this. I'm reading it in the news. People going, if you got to pick a leader in pharmaceuticals, this could be your next one. Well, in all fairness, this stock has moved out. It based for quite a while, sideways, and it's done its job. It's embedded. But do I ever tell a client to buy over a Bollinger Band? No. Why? Because numerically, the whole idea of the algorithm is you only stay over it 5% of the time on the whole part here. No. I'll wait for it to get into the Bollinger Bands. Uber, back into a big resistance zone, all right? Had a heck of a week, saw it lift this week. We saw that these did. These models are working. Why? Because COVID, for all purposes, and the government is now about to tell you so, is the flu. If you get it, you treat it like the flu, you stay home, you don't get other people the flu, and then you go back to work. I predicted this when it came out. I said you will get a COVID shot every year, just the way you get a flu vaccine, for those of us that want to get that. They'll adjust to it, and you will see this will run that way. You're right there. And that's why these are coming alive again. You know, it doesn't hurt that so many big cities are saying, hey, and by the way, the price of parking a car in a big city is so insane that you're better off taking an Uber now and doing these short hops that way, and it works for Lyft, it works for them. This is the good news. And there's nothing wrong for Lyft being number 2. I was a number 2 big discount broker in America decades ago. You can do just fine. Higher high, lower low, okay. And last in Google, not firing on all cylinders, okay? This is a miss on the AI. And the market is pretty much telling you that. Yes, it went up for a new high on the move, but doesn't have that staying power. It's not the leader for whatever reason. And you can see it in the chart action. So be a bit cautious with it. Join me this coming Thursday, 12:15 p.m. Central Time. Move your cursor up here. If you didn't get my invites, I'll send them out. But if you've blocked my emails or whatever, they're not getting through. You can always call my staff if that's easy. They'll get the invite out to you. I'm Ira. You have a good one, a great one. Enjoy your President's Day. And I'll catch you all for the ETFs on Tuesday morning of this coming week, not Monday. You take care.